Okay, it's 5:15 on a Friday afternoon. I've had a crap day. I've had so much flipping work to do, it's unbelievable. And nothing worse when you have a car that comes in for one specific job. You get that job done, no problem, and it ends up having other problems that weren't even there to start with. It seems to happen all the time, especially with friends and family cars. But there again, this was a taxi, so I've got no excuse. I'm going to run you through it in a minute. I'm just going to run through the office because I'm sort of like really getting low on time and I've got to get home. And I've got to go and do some shopping. Let's go and say hello. Hello to the women. Oh, flipping heck, the bloody door's locked. They won't even open the door for me. You see that? They won't open the door, I've got to go around. Right, let's go and say hello quick, while I adjust the exposure at the same time. Hey!
Hey.
Marie?
What's happening?
Have you taken a break today?
Yep.
You sure?
I have.
Because I haven't seen you move.
I do move, Alan. Believe it or not, I do.
Yeah, you know, I've got to say this again.
What?
Trailer park boys, smokes, let's go.
No.
I'm telling you, you need to, somebody sort of like recognise that phrase and watches the same programme. It's the best show in the world.
Right.
You've got to watch it. Mrs. Monica. Oh, overexposed again. There we go. Right. I've had a crap day. What's your day been like?
Pretty similar. I'm glad it's Friday.
Oh, you've been on the phone to Barclays Bank, haven't you, trying to sort shit out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For about 3 weeks now.
for 3 weeks trying to get something sorted out at Barclays Bank.
Yep.
Well, all my problems are solved, and it's 5:15. Time to go.
Do you like our new clock?
Yeah, it's kind of officey looking.
I feel like I'm in a child's room.
Yeah, can we see your trousers?
No.
you should put these on Instagram. Come on, stand up.
Why should I put them on Insta? What's wrong with my trousers?
I think they're sort of, is that leather or PVC?
It's none of those.
They're sparkly as well.
Yeah,
Black
they are.
and sparkly like glitter.
Yeah.
And the top and the jumper.
Of course.
Cool, that's all we want.
Sparkles rule the world.
That's all we want. You only want to that's all. Steady. Do you want me to crack the accident book out?
Yeah, go on. Can I claim some money off it?
In actual fact, you need a trip there. Do you want a neck brace while you're at it?
No.
They're claimed for a whiplash injury.
Anyway, it's time to go home in a minute. So I just wanted to come in and say,
Oh yeah, we'll have to go out with Alan, won't we?
Yeah.
yeah, it's the weekend.
Yeah.
I've just got to run through YouTube land of a little problem I had today with a Mondeo. But it's all good now.
You fixed it.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, brilliant. So anyway, see you guys.
See ya.
Right, let's have a quick look at this car and I'll show you my problem I had today. This is a real quick one today because I haven't got much time. I'm going to give you a fault code P003A turbo supercharged boost system performance, and then I've got 4 codes. I'm not going to go out the whole lot. P003A-91 turbocharger supercharger boost control A position exceeded learning limit. Here's what happened. We've got this 2014 Mk4 Mondeo 2 litre diesel. It came in here because the third gear synchro was noisy when you put it into third gear, obviously. So we had a spare gearbox we'd built up with a new third gear and everything. Put the gearbox in. The car then sat here because it was spare, wasn't being used. So about 3 or 4 days later, we decided to start it up and drive it away. The moment we started the car up, on your dash, in the middle bit, in the little red bit, it says engine service now. And it's like, flipping heck, this is all I flipping need. And these were the codes we had. I'll actually put all these codes here on the screen so you can see them. And I thought, oh, maybe it's a glitch. So obviously what you do, you plug your scanner in, clear them, hope they don't come back, jump in the car, try to drive off, but straight away, this code was literally, every time you start the car up, this code was coming on. Put it this way, if I cleared the code with the ignition off, fine, put ignition on, the code would not be there. As soon as you start the car, the code was straight there within the space of like 5 seconds. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to look into this. And it was relating to the turbo. Obviously it does like the boost control solenoid. As soon as you start the car up, it pulls the solenoid through electrics and vacuum. This was the problem, because when you start the car up, you can see the rod that comes out of the boost solenoid moving. But what I did was, rather than going into sort of like, because I haven't got the data I haven't even got a vacuum gauge to put on it and test all this stuff, but I compared it to another car, and the rod on this particular car, when the boost solenoid pulled the variable vane lever, I think it is, on the turbo, it was kind of struggling. It did move, but it was like struggling and not really that fast. And I checked against another car and it was like bang. In actual fact, I'll show you on the spare turbo I've got here what I mean. Right, so if you can imagine, this actually isn't the turbo for one of these cars. This is for an older one, like a 2007 or 2008. But anyway, you've got your boost control vacuum unit here. You've got a 3-pin connector and you've got a vacuum pipe which comes off here. When you start the car up, the vacuum will pull this lever around. So this will actually come down like that. It will push it in. So here's what I've basically done. The engine's running, just idling. I would have the vacuum pipe removed from this unit, and this would be in the off position. As soon as I connected the vacuum pipe back up to this, it would pull this rod down and it would pull this lever round. But the thing is, it pulled it round quite slowly, whereas on the other car I checked, this was getting pulled round really fast, like bang, really quick, like boom, done. But this was like struggling, you could see it struggling. So I thought maybe this actual variable vane is inside this turbo is getting a bit stuck or a bit sticky. So I unbolted this whole solenoid unit and I moved this lever by hand, and it was actually perfectly free. There was just a tiny bit of resistance, and then after that it was totally free. But it was still doing the same thing, it was still slow coming round. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, either that turbo boost solenoid vacuum unit is faulty, although I wasn't too sure about that because it was actually pulling it round and holding it round, or we're not getting enough vacuum to actually pull that variable vanes in that turbo round properly. So there's one thing I do know these Mark IV Mondeos have, which are a flipping pain from time. They don't often go wrong, but when they do go wrong, they're a pain to diagnose. And there's a pair of solenoids. One operates the turbo and one operates the EGR valve. And I'm going to show you the one which operates the turbo. But that's where the puppy sits. The top one is our brown one for our turbo, and the bottom one is a smaller grey one, that's for your EGR valve. There it is, one vacuum solenoid. And that the little inner side one, that one is the one that goes round to your turbo. So you obviously got to check the vacuum pipe from here all the way round to your turbo as well, just to make sure it's not got a tiny pinhole in it. In my case it didn't, the pipe was perfectly fine. It was just this vacuum solenoid was weak, and it wasn't pulling enough vacuum to operate the lever on the turbo properly and pull that variable vane, because it does like a self-test of itself when you first start the car up. And yeah, so that's it. I've actually had a few of these go wrong in the past, The other one, I had one, it was the grey one. There's a little grey one below it, which operates your EGR. I had one of them weak. But these, when they go wrong, it's not exactly easy to diagnose them. But yeah. So if you do get sort of like the same codes that I've got here, it'd be well worth, if you've got a weak vacuum, possibly looking at this rather than trying to change your turbo, because the last thing you want to do yeah, I know this may sound silly, but I bet there are people who have actually replaced a turbo because of something like that. It's quite easy to actually blame the turbo, because you can see the boost solenoid pulling the plunger in, moving the lever. You think it's all working, and you kind of think, it's the boost solenoid or the actual turbo, something in the variable vane that's stuck or something. And it's quite easy to sort of like miss something like that. So anyway, I'll leave these codes like I said earlier. So if you do ever get these codes on your car, have a check at that first and just make sure that you've got a good vacuum. And that lever on that turbo, when you start the car up, it should go boom, like pretty fast. If it's kind of slow, check that. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. See ya.